You cannot talk about Napa Cold without talking about Screaming Eagle. This is literally the top of pyramid. If there's a king of Napa wine, this is it. So rather if you love it or hate it or you roll your eyes at it, you can't ignore it. Screaming Eagle was founded in 1986 by John Philippe. She wasn't a winery owner or a Napa dynasty. She literally just bought a vineyard in Oakville and started selling grapes. And eventually she decided on making her own wine, and in 1992 was the first commercial vintage. And then something happened. In 1995, Robert Parker came out giving the 92 vintage a 99 points. Back in the 90s era, Robert Parker was the king, the one and only, and his scores means everything. And that review pretty much started the trajectory of what you see of Screaming Eagle is now. The very original winemaker was Heidi Barrett. Yes, that Heidi Barrett, she's also the name behind many other Napa cult favorites. And did you know that the 92 vintage back then came out at $75 a bottle? It wasn't a cheap wine, but was still very reasonable at the time. And if you're looking for that same bottle of 1992 Screaming Eagle today, it will cost you well over $20,000. This is not inflation, this is cult status. This is genius marketing as well. And John Philippe sold her winery in 2006 for reportedly $30+ million. And as far as winemaker goes, we started with Heidi Barrett, then there was Andy Erson, and the current winemaker is Nick Gislason. You would think that each transition could potentially have destabilized the cult status of the wine, but it did not. And that's kind of a fascinating part, and I feel like that's the same with every other cold Napa winery. At some point, the wine stopped becoming about the vineyard, the winery, or the winemaker. It really becomes kind of a luxury collectible brand and status symbol. They produce roughly between 500 to 800 cases a year. They could make more, but they don't, and part of that restraint does act and contribute to the scarcity of the wine. I mean, you could sign up to be on the wait list for this winery, but you won't get it. And I don't say that to be dramatic because there's hardly any turnover with any of the current allocation holder. They either drink it or flip it, or some people just wanted to have it, collect it. So far, the winery had zero incentive to expand the production, so good luck. So if you want a bottle now, unfortunately, you will have to go to the secondary market. Screaming Eagle is one of the most liquid wine in the secondary US market. It literally trades like a rare Burgundy and auction houses love it. And collectors treat it pretty much like an asset. And this is a part that people don't like to admit. At this point, you're not buying a good tasting wine. You're literally buying assets, status, and a narrative. Let's be real now. Can a $3,000 bottle literally taste 100 times better than a $30 bottle? Of course not. Plus, taste is very subjective. But does it command a $3,000 average price? Absolutely. Years ago, I had the honor of serving a private Christmas party for someone who's extremely wealthy. I did sign an NDA, so I can't tell you who it is. But that night, the host opened every single vintage, sometimes multiple bottles of the same vintage from 92 all the way up to 2013. I got to talk and taste through the lineup. And was it good wine? Absolutely. Does it feel my ego a little bit to say that I have tasted a vertical of a wine like this? Of course. Now here is the hardest and honest part. Did I sit there thinking, wow, this wine tastes 100 times better than a $30 bottle of wine? No. Unfortunately, wine taste does not scale like wine price does. At this level, you're not paying a proportional jump in terms of flavor to the price. You're paying for scarcity, reputation, and the fact that very few people in the world can casually open a lineup of this kind of bottle. It is a status. So if I have the money, absolutely I would drink it and buy it. And I do think that is the real reason to collect it. So you can roll your eyes at Screaming Eagle and tell me it is all hype and it's not worth $3,000. But Screaming Eagle is the living proof that brand, scarcity, critical acclaim, and discipline equal to you're able to name your price. And in the world of wine, this formula is easy to understand but impossible to replicate. This is why Screaming Eagle absolutely deserves a spot on 100 wines worth talking about.